So friends, by now you must have got some idea about what is eutrophication. As Katha has already discussed, eutrophication is when a body of water becomes overly enriched with minerals and nutrients induces excessive growth of algae. This process may result in oxygen depletion of the water body after the bacterial degradation of algae, right? And Katha has also discussed about the types and causes of eutrophication. So now let's jump into the effects of eutrophication. Obviously the negative ones, but yeah, there are few or very few positive effects as well that we'll be talking about in the later part of the video. So now let's proceed with the negative effects of eutrophication first. So basically there are 6 negative effects of eutrophication. The first one being the abundance of unwanted substances. Secondly, it threatens the survival of aquatic life forms. Third is the deterioration of water quality. Fourth one being the poisoning and impact on human health. It endangers fishing also. And the last one being the degradation of recreational opportunities. Effects of eutrophication. The first is the abundance of unwanted substances. Eutrophication causes an abundance of particulate substances such as phytoplankton, zooplankton, bacteria, fungi, and debris on which the turbidity and coloration of water depend. It increases inorganic chemicals like ammonia, nitrites, hydrogen sulfides that induces the formation of harmful substances such as nitrosamines that causes mutagenicity in drinking water. Secondly, it threatens the survival of fish and other aquatic life forms. Have you ever heard of algal blooms? Actually, when aquatic ecosystems experiences increased nutrients, the phytoplanktons and other photosynthetic plants grow explosively, causing algal blooms. As an outcome, the algal blooms limit the amount of dissolved oxygen required for respiration by other animals and plant species in the water. Oxygen depletion happens when the algae or plant life dies and decomposes. The growth of phytoplankton also causes reduced light penetration into the lower depths of water. This can bring about aquatic dead zones, loss of aquatic life, and also lessens biodiversity. The third effect is the deterioration of water quality. Algal blooms are highly toxic, and once the water reaches the anaerobic condition, the growth of more toxic bacteria is promoted. High organic substances give the water disagreeable odors or tastes that can be barely masked by chlorination while using as drinking water. These substances form complex chemical compounds that not only prevent normal purification processes but get deposited on the walls of the water purifier inlet tubes, accelerating corrosion and limiting the flow rate. Now, let's move on to the next effect. The fourth one is the poisoning and impact on human health. The cyanobacteria, also referred to as dinoflagellates, which generate red tide, release very powerful toxins with high poison levels in the water even at very low concentrations. The anaerobic conditions created by explosive plant growth in the water also results in the doubling of toxic compounds. Have you ever heard of blue baby syndrome? These toxic compounds make their way up the food chain, contributing to various negative health impacts. High nitrogen concentration in drinking water is associated with the ability to inhibit blood circulation in infants, a condition that is very well known to us, known as the blue baby syndrome. Eutrophication endangers fishing. One of the main characteristics of eutrophication is the increased growth of minute floating plants such as algae and photosynthetic bacteria and the development of extensive dense mats of floating plants such as Nile cabbage and water hyacinths. Whenever this happens on a water body, fishing is endangered. It simply becomes difficult to set the fishing nets in the water, and the plants floating on water also limits the mobility of boats and other fishing vessels. The last effect is the degradation of recreational opportunities.
The main problem of eutrophication is the algal blooms and other aquatic plants that float on an extensive area of the water surface.
It reduces the transparency and navigation in the water, which lessens the recreational values and opportunities of the lakes, especially for boating and swimming.
Let's talk about the positive impact of eutrophication as well. The positive impact of eutrophication is especially seen in countries where fish and other aquatic organisms are a significant source of food. Enhanced plant production and improved fish yields are sometimes described as positive impacts of eutrophication. Oh my god, eutrophication has disturbed the ecosystem so badly. So now, let's move ahead with the preventions of eutrophication.
Preventive solutions to eutrophication. So basically, there are four. The first is composting. Second is reducing pollution. Third is strengthening laws and regulations. While the fourth one is ultrasonic irradiation. Let's begin with the first one. Composting. Eutrophication mainly arises from the use of nitrate and phosphate fertilizers. In a bid to address the phenomena, composting can be used as a solution. Now the question arises, what is composting? Composting is the practice of converting organic matter such as food residues and decaying vegetation into compost manure. The nutrients present in the compost manure are deficient in high concentrations of nitrates and phosphates that feed the algae and other microbes in water bodies. This method of controlling eutrophication is termed as nutrient limitation. Second is reducing pollution. Just like composting, limiting pollution is an easy and effective method of cutting back on the amount of nitrogen and phosphates discharged into water systems. If industries and municipalities can cap their waste discharge and pollution to a lower level, then nutrients content is reduced in the water systems, which can subsequently control eutrophication. It is required to strengthen laws and regulations to prevent eutrophication. Strengthening laws and regulations against non-point water source pollution can substantially control eutrophication. The laws should aim at enhancing high water quality standards and zero tolerance to the non-point solution. With the support of policymakers, citizens, pollution regulatory authorities, and the government, it is easy to control eutrophication. So the last preventive solution of eutrophication is ultrasonic irradiation. When it comes to eutrophication, the use of ultrasonic irradiation is one such mechanism that has been exploited as an alternative solution to control and manage algal blooming. The process works by causing cavitations which produce free radicals that destroy algal cells. Research is still underway to determine the uniqueness of its use in controlling the eutrophication problem. There are other curative solutions as well. Number 1 being the removal and treatment of hypolimnatic water. Drainage of the first 10-20 cm of sediments. Oxygenation of water. Chemical precipitation of phosphorus. The last one is the biological removal of nitrogen.